westbound Strathern from Coldwater now. Of course, we're in the midst of live breaking news and the challenges of getting that done technically. So we're now looking at this vehicle, which is on surface streets, stopping. It's just rolled through that stop sign.
Only stopped by that vehicle.
Going the wrong way now on this street. This looks like there's some pretty tight corridors on some of these side streets in this neighborhood. Going around this car. Here a unit is now just a little bit behind now, making a left-hand turn.
Yes, I am. Yes,
okay,
I am. What they try to do, because of the concern for the safety of the public, a lot of times they use the air unit to keep observing. Units are close by in the vicinity. They're not close to the fleeing vehicle for safety reasons. The pursuit policy is protect the people, protect the innocent people, and don't crowd that individual who's fleeing from the police.
Northbound Woodman. You see here coming in real heavy traffic up here. He's going to be trapped in as he comes up this curb line here. See what he does when he gets in. Roger. We're set up in the right-hand turn pocket here. Units are coming up with the Roscoe. That's the intersection he's stopped near. We'll see what happens. But pushing through Roscoe. Still on Woodman.
We'll see. Obviously, the suspect's not compliant. I think those are probably gang officers in that the black and white. It's a dual purpose what we see with the doesn't have the conventional. It's black and white but doesn't have the light bar. They're definitely trying to get away and elude. There's no way they're going to escape the helicopter. Air unit overhead will keep constant communication. The ground unit is not going to excessively speed. They don't want to injure public. The last thing the officers want to do is cause hazard to the public, so they will back off. The intention to back it off.
Here we go. And it looks like we may be going onto the freeway here, and we just momentarily lost the picture. Now we're back. Okay, so it looks like we are going onto the freeway here in the middle of rush hour, and we see the speeds now picking up. So as we do this, you see that LAPD police helicopter above. Okay. Looks like we're getting off at Sherman Way.
That one right there? The last car? Okay, perfect. Okay, I got it. I hear you on microwave, and Booth, I got you on microwave as well. Mike level 4 News Chopper 4 Alpha over North Hollywood, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. He's turning around, gonna begin getting back on the freeway.
Southbound 170 from Sherman Way, getting off again here. Exiting Oxnard as we Oxnard. Okay, he's coming through and just smoking the tire here as he works his way along. Wrong side of the street, turning eastbound. Back up under the 170. We've seen this person speeding. We've seen this person blowing through stop signs. And we've seen this person turning now back onto another freeway on ramp here as this sort of cat and mouse game on and off the Southern California freeways continues. Now we're going the opposite direction. We're going now northbound on the freeway. I believe this is the 170.
About 170, yeah.
We had to stick with it along with the other media airships to keep them on task here. So now we put them back onto the area, back onto the vehicle. As you see now, he's starting to get off the freeway right now. We'll see where he's jumping off here right now. But we had a video earlier. He's up in a neighborhood in Arleta, bailing out. Two of the passengers bailed out, took off running, but luckily there were another air unit overhead who was able to just keep track of those folks and got them into custody. We've been going back and forth between Pacoima and Burbank here on the roadways around the 5 and the 170, and now turning here, wrong side of the street, forcing his way down the wrong side of the street. I believe this is Brantford he's on now.
All over the road here on Laurel Canyon, coming up to Muscantine. So he's going to have a red. Let's see what he does. Looks like he's going to try to just make a right-hand turn.
This driving is very, very serious and very dangerous.
And Dennis, we should note, because of the way this driver is driving, the helicopter is following this. The police units have backed off center turn lane and just racing through it. And as Chuck pointed out, it's that horrible time of...
every now and then the sun.
Yeah, that sun and the glare from it is terrible. Okay, now he's come to a stop, Eliana.
Yeah, this may be it, and we're going to keep close tabs here on the driver. I see him there opening his door, closing it back up, and continuing from where he had stopped.
You see him come up to Osborne. We'll see which way he goes when he gets there. And it looks like we're going to make westbound Osborne. Westbound Osborne.
We haven't seen any ground units, so they're still trying to find its location, and this is just mainly an air pursuit?
Initially, there were ground units behind the vehicle.
This is a residential street in Pacoima. He should be going, 25, maybe 30 miles an hour, and he's clearly going much faster than that, based on what we're able to tell. And anybody out there is at risk now, and now he's got some cross traffic here. This is really dangerous. This time of day, you got people out, traffic is heavy, there's all these different factors that are involved.
We're very much in a neighborhood setting. We see the speed bumps to try to control speeds of traffic here, and obviously he's not paying much mind to that.
Not at all. And he's turned again. Where are we now?
So he's on Pierce Street with a cross-up hat on.
Chris Christie, who's up there in Air 7. Chris, can you hear us right now?
Hey there, Michelle, back with you, and it sounds like they are considering re-engaging the pursuit.
Staying on surface streets. Does that tell you anything?
Well, familiar with the area. Otherwise, they jump on the freeway and flee. But I would guess that this individual knows the community, lives in this community, and has committed crimes in this community, and just very familiar, knowing where they're going, think they're going to lose the police. But again, you've got a police helicopter overhead watching, broadcasting, and now we're in a heavily populated area.
Throughout this entire time, for the last, I would say for the better part of the last 10 minutes now, he really hasn't been running from any ground units. They gave it up a little while ago. The airships continuing to follow from above.
But now he's approaching San Fernando Road, which is going to be the major here through the area, which is just on the west side of our airport here.
It's unpredictable because he goes like this for a little while, and then you see
Look at this,
now he's
oncoming lanes of traffic.
He's driving into the oncoming lanes. Sometimes he'll act, fairly moderate, I suppose, is the best way to put it. And other times he just speeds up, drives into oncoming traffic, and does all kinds of crazy things.
The pedestrians are not aware this vehicle is fleeing from the police. They have no idea. They just see a car driving down, and they'll see a helicopter overhead.
The car, I would assume, is going to be stolen just the way he's driving, and just working the area. Because normally when they start circling areas like this is where they're looking for a place to bail out. And right now it doesn't look like that's what he's planning on doing.
LAPD certainly monitoring this, but their decision-making is up in the air at this point.
It's interesting. There have been a bunch of people kind of out along the street. He's off of Oneida Boulevard. Now he's back on Van Nuys. He's kind of circled the block there, but I wonder if this is a neighborhood that is very familiar to him. Of course, this is kind of near where the pursuit began, so it would make sense.
This area has a lot of pedestrian traffic, as you saw going through that one intersection. The lady just crossed the street, and now we're making another westbound turn. A lot of people on foot in this area.
If he still thinks he's being followed or if he somehow eluded the police.
Yeah, during the day, it's difficult to know if they can tell or not. At nighttime, it's a lot easier because they would still see the night sun.
I don't know how many units they have converging on that location, but I'm sure there's a number of them that are in close proximity as directed by the air unit. That's probably Air 16 that's overhead.
He can certainly hear that helicopter right above him as they continue to track this suspect.
No units directly behind the suspect, just the airship overhead, and you can see that he's making yet another turn here onto Rincon Avenue from Pierce.
All right, well, we're watching him now going through this residential neighborhood. There's somebody on a bicycle.
I buy a bicycle.
This is what I'm talking about. When he goes through a residential neighborhood like this,
Very difficult, unless you have a number of units, ground units, that are there to deploy that. But as it stands now, we know that units have backed off. They're not in close proximity. They will be in the vicinity.
That hasn't really helped bring the speeds down all that much. Now he is slowing down as he prepares to make a right turn into this intersection here. We're now on Van Nuys Boulevard.
That driver wearing a bright white T-shirt, but other than that, we don't really know too much about him, except that he was the driver that initiated this pursuit here in Foothill Division now about 20-25 minutes ago, with 3 suspects in the car. 2 of them jumped out. He continued on.
He's coming up on an intersection here. Let's see what he does. And it looks like he's going to push you. Okay, he's going to make that right-hand turn.
Really not showing any respect for the rules of the road still, despite the fact that he doesn't really have anybody behind him. As far as we can tell, still only those airships overhead, or that one airship, I should say, that's still left up in the air above him.
That's one thing is, the observers have to deal with when they bail out. You have trees and obscurements on the ground that the subjects will use, and once they lose sight of him for a second, now he's going up into a gas station here, a Chevron right here at Laurel Canyon and Paxton, so he's going to be going southbound Laurel Canyon now from Paxton, so heading back.
Just on the south side of the 118 freeway, east of the 5, and there is a marked unit. Just saw one unit as he drove by here, so let's see if that unit engages the pursuit. There's another one. I have a feeling these guys are going to join into the mix. Yep, I hear them now on the scanner. They're saying that they are in pursuit.
Now it sounds like they just disengaged again and going back to a surveillance mode as he blasts through that intersection right there at Telfair. He's coming up on a very congested intersection here of Osborne, and as he approaches Osborne, he can be on the brakes. You got a red light here. We'll see what he does. See what he does here. He's going to hold. The units have backed off completely. Westbound Osborne again from Laurel Canyon. So we made this circle once again, and we'll see. He's going to hit a lot of traffic. And now going into the Ross Target parking lot. Oh man, there's going to be a lot of folks in this parking lot. This is working his way down in front of Ross and down through Target. See all the people here out in the roadway or out in the driveways. So hopefully he uses his head, doesn't drive through here too quickly. LAPD is back out on Laurel Canyon, just kind of keeping an eye out for him. And if he gets too far in here, he'll be trapped in his parking lot. Now coming back out to Laurel Canyon, and wrong side here as he pushes his way now southbound to Laurel Canyon.
At this point, I think it's safe to say that he is kind of making this up as he goes along. I don't see this person having a clear destination in mind, but you can't. Look at that. Somebody communicating with him there. Somebody was communicating. You've got other folks with their cell phones out. Northbound Branford Street as he continues to drive what I would describe as aimlessly through this part of the valley.
Just a matter of following him around and trying not to entice him to drive any faster than he does when he's on his own. And this guy seems to do the pattern of slowing down just a little bit when he doesn't have anybody behind him, and then picking up speed when somebody does get behind him. But like I said, we're just working this area here.
I'm just personally glad to see that car did not stay in that area where that shopping mall is. It's a very busy Target. I've been there many times. There are restaurants.
Oh, look at the front. Look at the front.
But it does appear he's slowed down once again, and perhaps that's because the officers aren't directly behind him. In we go into another little strip
another
mall
little,
and come right back out.
Yeah, a little strip mall there. You can see a
Front
lot
tire
more
now,
smoke
look at
now
that.
coming from the car.
What they're doing is, since he seems to be in the Pacoima Arleta area and it has a little bit of a pattern, they're flooding those neighborhoods with patrol cars. They're asking for other stations, not just Foothill, but maybe Mission, Van Nuys on the north end, to send units into the area.
We got a driver here who's looking for a place that he can run, but he's having no luck in finding such a spot yet as he just keeps going around and round and round.
We're just to the west of the 5 freeway, and as we continue on here, he's now coming back up to Van Nuys, and so he's made. See here, he turns again on Van Nuys, and so as he forces his way onto Van Nuys here back eastbound, this will take him back over to the area where he has gone many times before.
What they weigh is the safety of the public, and the concern is the safety of the public. The apprehension is critical, it's important, but safety of the public is what's paramount. I went to Pursuit School recently, a refresher from LAPD Pursuit, and the fact is you have care and consideration for the general public, and if the suspect is
He is making some erratic turns and getting into these neighborhoods like here. He just made that westbound turn, now taking a southbound turn on these very tight residential streets here. Now there is LAPD going to be in his rearview mirror here in a second.
His final moments of freedom for the day until they eventually catch up with him. So it's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse.
Right now, it's just anybody's guess where it's going to end up. And we're coming back up to Terabella here, see what he does. He's been up and down this street both directions. Now he's sitting here waiting for the light. And see what he does here. Okay, pushes through the red light. That's the LAPD car right behind him, kind of on him. So that's what made him go through and continue now. But I haven't heard the area engagement command go right now. LAPD air units are in the process of switching out their airships because of a fuel issue with them. And he just barely missed that car trying to come out onto Laurel Canyon. Now as we continue south Laurel Canyon, coming back up to Osborne, and we've been through this intersection a couple times, just right down between cars in the Gore Point there, working his way down now south Laurel Canyon from Osborne.
And we have noticed that now during the course of this pursuit, like right here,
right
you
here.
see that there is
Right here.
a small crowd that has gathered there to watch the vehicle go by.
As Bruce mentioned, they are going to flood the zone with officers from the North Hollywood Division as well as the Foothill Division, and hopefully catch up with him.
We've been listening to LAPD scanner, LAPD frequency, and trying to keep an ear on what they're doing.
And this time fully closing the door. Yeah, he's done this before, same exact spot here on Telfair with a cross of DeBell Street. Yeah, he's just gonna wait. And here's a woman that he's speaking to. Now a small crowd gathering here. So several people that are joining him here on DeBell with a cross of Telfair. He parked the car, sat down on the curb, and it appears that he's simply just waiting for the LAPD to come get him. I hear on the scanner that there's units heading here as we speak, so we should see them pull up here in just a moment. And as I widen out the shot, you will see at least 2 units here from the LAPD's Foothill Division that are going to try to take this suspect into custody.